Welcome to the Lightning Talks. So who has never been at a Lightning Talk session before? There are some people. So here's how it goes. There's a few people coming up here brave enough to say something to you. They each get 5 minutes and only 5 minutes. When they're down to their last, let's say, half minute, the chicken makes a sound. When your 5 minutes is up, I will come to you and bash you on the head with the rubber chicken. So don't be over time, right? Okay. Ready to do this? So this is Lindsay Z with how we build a PPC robot. Take it away.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm Honza, and I'm from a company called Lint Services. And we are quite a big marketing and technical company. We have 9 people, which means you have to use 2 hands if you want to count us. And I would like to give you some insights about the product we are preparing and about the technologies and tools we use when we are building this product. The product is called PPC Robot, and it's a reporting tool for managers of PPC campaigns. It's basically those nasty ads that pop up in the first place when you search for some keywords. For instance, if you were looking for an accommodation, you would see booking at Google. We already use this tool to report on campaigns our company manage, and the campaigns are worth of millions of euros every month. The tool has to process and aggregate data from various sources, and it allows users to define their own custom reports that are tailored to their needs, and that prepares the data they need for their daily work. And of course, it's written in Python. The tool has a friendly interface, so even the marketeers can use it and understand it. And when we are building it, we made the research of some technologies that were suitable for our needs. And we came up with some pretty interesting ones. For instance, on our front end, which is a single-page application, we use Vue.js, which is something like React, but a little more developer-friendly. And we used iView library to build the user interface. It's made by some blokes from China, but don't worry, it has English documentation, and it's pretty neat. If you are building something like that, check it out. It's really great. On back end, the application is distributed, and the stack there is pretty standard. We use Celery, we use Django, we use Pandas for data processing, and so on. And the application is deployed as Docker containers, and we use monitoring using Prometheus. We manage these containers using an interface called Portainer. We use Sentry, Kibana, Grafana. Basically, all the cool technologies that have appeared in the recent years, we are toying with them or playing with them. During the development, we were facing some challenges. And the most recent one was statistics for A/B/N testing. This is basically A/B testing, but with more than 2 variants. And in Python, it's pretty easy to do that. You can use the SciPy package and stats models package. If you are doing something similar, try these packages. They are pretty good. And if you are new into statistics, I can recommend the vasarstats.net. It's a pretty good site with textbooks on statistics, and it's really easy to understand and really useful. And of course, like other big companies, we are hiring. So if you like data analysis and don't like corporate environment, because we are a pretty punk company, find us here in the venue or contact us. We might have a job offer for you. We operate in Pilsen, in České Budějovice, and of course, remote is also a possibility for us. If you are interested, look at our website. Thank you.
Thank you. Right, can I ask Sasha on stage? While she's setting up, can we have, or while they're setting up, can we have Stepan? Are you here somewhere? Stepan, dictate. Do I see you somewhere? Please get set up in backstage. If you're not there, then I'll ask Flavio and Nick to go to backstage and get ready for the lightning talk. Right, we are here. We have secrets of a secret. No, it's still secret. Should it be secret? No. This is public, right? Alrighty. So, secrets of a secret society. Take it away. Oh, here's your microphone. Sorry.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Sasha. These are secrets of a secret society. And if you've seen me here last year or at other conferences, you'll remember that I always bring these delicious little treats. They're from the Netherlands where I live. They're called stroopwafels. It's like a waffle with some sweet syrup in it. Over the years, I have been involved in the contribution of 54 kilograms of this treat to open source communities, or about 246 million calories, which is enough for an adult to live on for 4 months. I don't recommend that diet because this was 13 kilograms of sugar. And I also do a thing called the Secret Society of the Stroopwafel. And anyone can become a member by promising not to dip a stroopwafel into a drink, because I think it is wrong. And so you can get a hand stamp to become a member. The stamp fades after a few hours, so that maintains the secrecy. We have no idea who the members are, because you can only recognize them for a few hours. And so why do I do this, and have I been doing this for all these years? Because I found that it's so much fun to hand out these things to people, and it makes people really happy when you give them this little treat. And to me, it is such a tiny effort to bring a few bags. On this trip, I brought 2 kilos. Some of it is gone already, but there's more. And I've just found that by giving this little treat to people, they just feel happier. Some people get so excited over them, or when they know me, it's like I've had people come to me jumping in excitement, asking me whether I brought any on this trip. And that is just so much fun. It's so little effort to me. But I also feel like it is not just about them being a delicious treat. They are delicious, but that it is also because it's something small that you can give to someone, and something that I thought about. I always give them in person also. I don't leave them out. And so to them it's just like, it's this thoughtful little gift that they got that they didn't expect, which is tasty. And so to me, it's not just about the stroopwafel, or it's not even primarily about the stroopwafel. In secret, the secret society of the stroopwafel is the secret society of happiness. Because when we think about how we can bring happiness to other people, we often think of like very big things. Like people talk about this in relationships, for example. And I don't believe that works. I don't think you can't make other people happy. But what you can do is with very tiny gestures, you can add a tiny bit to someone's happiness. You can make things seem a little brighter to them with just the tiniest thing. And you have the tiniest influence. But all added up together, that can contribute a lot. So in a way, the stroopwafels are like little happiness packets, which happens to be the name of a project run by Mikey, Ariel, and myself, where we try to get people to say nice things to each other in open source. And so we've had over 700 messages sent, and 100 are public, and we made some cards of our favorite ones. So things that people say to each other to our platform is like, thank you for all that you do to help others. We're really lucky to have people like you. And may the weather always be in your liking. Maybe your noodles never splatter, and may your virtual pen never run out of ink. And so what I would like to encourage you to do is to also find ways in which you can contribute to people's happiness with sometimes the tiniest gesture. It doesn't have to be a massive project, just something small, like sending a happiness packet, but it can be anything. Take something that you can hand out. Don't use stroopwafels, because I already have that one. And so my name is Sasha. I've been called the monarch of stroopwafel-based happiness, which is a title I carry with pride. I encourage you to look for ways to bring a little bit of happiness to other people, because even the smallest things can make a difference. They can contribute to something larger. They can make the world seem brighter to people. They can make it feel like the world is a kinder place. send happiness packets, find things you can contribute. This is going to be turned into a full-length talk somewhere later this year. And if for the rest of the conference, I still have stroopwafels and happiness packets cards and happiness packet stickers. So find me at any point in the next few days and join the secret society of happiness. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Right, now can I ask Stepan up? Well, we're talking of monarchs. We'll have something about a dictatorship. You know, Python itself is a dictatorship. So this is a talk called Metrics Dictate. I wonder what that's about. Who knows what a metric is? Oh, come on. There we go, there we go. So it's all yours.
Hello everyone, my name is Stepan Květenský. I work for Acolyte as a software design engineer. And for today's lightning talk, my original topic was 3 things that I really hate about Python, but then I decided that that is something that you don't want to do. And since I'm really into continuous delivery and I like thinking about processes, I decided to go for metrics dictate. Since I don't see you, can I have a noise for guys that their team's success is measured by metrics that are decided upon by their manager? Noise? Anyone? No? Everyone decides on the metrics that measures the team's success by the team itself? Sort of? Then we're done. I don't need to talk anymore. Cool, thank you. So you're ashamed to make the noise or what? Yes. Okay. Okay, so let's suppose there is at least someone. If there is someone that is ashamed to shout out and has another thing that is like he really hates how the metrics are set up, things like, hey, I want you to go to 100% code coverage. By the way, that is something that my colleague will talk here about tomorrow afternoon, so definitely join his talk. Or something like, I'll cut your bonuses if you will have some severity 1 incidents in production. Or like, I'll decide on the bonuses according to how many lines of code you have written. Like, these are the things that I'm talking about. If you're a software design engineer, you get shocked when you see that. Then you get really angry about it, and then you resign. Well, either way. But to be honest, I have been on the other side of the barricade as well. And it's really hard for managers that haven't been through the software design engineer role to actually decide over the metrics. So what they usually go for is things that they have heard around. And it's something like, whoops, what just happened? It's something like this. Like, they are real nervous about their metrics as well. Unless they are douchebags, and they just want to be douchebags. What's my point is there is really easy step to get from this pain into something that can really work out. And it's like really easy step, you just switch the words. So instead of letting someone to dictate you the metrics to measure the success of your team, make your team responsible for defining the metrics that you measure the success of the team on. And do not just use them to measure the success, but use the metrics to show you things that identify learning opportunities for the team as well. It's basically something like that. Thank you.
Thank you, Stepan. And now we have on stage Nick and Flavio.
You can call us Flick.
Flick. Okay, Flick.
Nick,
Flavio and Nick, Flick. Okay, so
We're gonna
for
start
the
a
next
band
Flick,
now.
we have the 5-minute Flick by Flick. Anyway, so for the ones of you who have been here for the morning keynote, which ran a bit short, we're sorry for that. Here is the Q&A for the keynote.
All right, so we have a whole bunch of questions, and our goal is to go over time so that we can see that chicken flying on stage. So the first one says, and we're totally gonna wing this. Like we haven't read these questions yet.
This is the first time we've read these questions.
So how did you gain trust of the company employing you that you have the discipline to manage working remotely? How did it start for the first time? And well, I don't know about you,
Here,
but
Flavio, will you hold my beer?
yeah, sure. Go ahead. Think about it.
So, I actually kind of fell into
It's actually good beer.
It is
Thank you.
pretty good. I fell into a working from home job. I was a DjangoCon in 2009, 2008, where I was offered a job to work with another guy. And he promised to pay me double what I was working. And so I started working with this guy for about 3 years, and this job kind of gave me a lot of experience in being a master, or a jack of all trades and a master of none. And eventually that parlayed into a new job offering and a new job offering, and basically, I'm gonna say my work spoke for itself. So like new job offers came because of the work that I'd done before. So my trust, I guess, was developed because of the work that I've done in the past.
Right. I think for at least in my case, I think is it really depends on the culture of the company you work for. When I was interviewing at Red Hat, it was I was actually supposed to move somewhere that we had an office, and then one of the people that interviewed me, he was like went back to the HR team, kind of like saying this guy knows what he's doing and it's all right. But I think it's a lot of like, at least at Red Hat, the first thing you get is people assuming good faith and trusting you to begin with, and then evaluating things as they come and as they happen, instead of not trusting you from the beginning and trying to, and forcing you to build some trust. So assume good faith, trust people around you, and that will make your life simpler. And then if something fuck up happens, well, then you learn your lesson and you try to accommodate or fix it. So are your coworkers just people you work with, or do you ever talk to them beyond the work stuff? I mostly talk about work, unless, like, I meet some of my coworkers at conferences and company meetings, and after work, we do try not to talk about work, although we most of the time end up talking about work. But I do have a couple of folks that I work with that I've managed to build good relationship with. And we go off on trips before the conference. We organize and we say, like, well, let's go there like 4 days earlier. We just go around the city, check out the city, and then just like build better relationships, and so just not to make it entirely about work.
At Elastic, in the Denver area, we have about 24 employees. So we actually do fairly regular meetings where we just meet up for, the big one is going to be the third Thirsty Thursday, which is every third Thursday of the month, we meet up at a brewery or a bar or something, and we don't really work. We just talk about whatever we want to talk about. So it's all a social gathering. And on top of that, we do a engineering all hands 2 times a year, where all the engineers in the company get together, one time in the United States and the other time is in Europe. And so last year we were in Berlin. In March, we were in Tahoe, and then again in October, we're going to be meeting in Dublin. So we have these social gatherings where we get everybody together. There is some work talk, some, definitely stuff about how do we be better as a company, be better engineers, but then there's a lot of socializing afterwards. So we do have a lot of talk that goes beyond work stuff.
Right. So the next question is, you said managers meetings. How about teamwork, mentoring juniors, or do you just work on an isolated project as a mercenary without feelings to others? I definitely don't feel that way. As far as juniors and interns go, we have a policy where we don't hire juniors and interns as remote employees, mostly because we do want to. What's that? Oh, okay.
30 seconds.
All right, sure. We do want to provide the best mentoring experience possible, and for interns and juniors, we've learned that having them as remote employees is not very helpful for them. So we try to fly them over to the offices and have them, and then when you're growing, you kind of know when you want to move. Do you hear something? I don't know.
Yeah, I hear something, I think.
All right, skip.
So we,
So you keep running, I'll answer the question. You're the one running ultra marathons. Who wants more? There are like 3 more questions.
Okay, so after, this is the 4th PyCon. This was the first time I knew how to do that. Midrate, you're up.
You are very welcome.
Yeah, thank you guys. So this is Midrate. He will talk about a Django money sprint. While he's sitting up, I will ask Chris and Igor Zubritsky to go around, be behind the curtain, and sit up in backstage. Since you'll be up later, and let's see what this shows. Is that the page you want to show? Django money. Django money.
Can you hear me?
There we go.
So, just a quick announcement. There will be a sprint on Django Money project this Sunday. Check out the repo. It's Django Hip Hand Money. It's money fields for Django forms and models. So, as well as formatting utilities and exchange rates, we'll be working on making it more extensible, fixing bugs, and it will be really, really cool if somebody will help us with the documentation. So let's make open source, have fun, see you on Sunday.
I can see people are really scared of the chicken. Okay, now Chris, please come up. Hello, next lightning talk, please. Welcome to the stage. Come on. And so, do you have slides? All right, we have HDMI. So there's an adapter. Which one is it? Oh. All right, this will be interesting. So let me comment on this. There's a powered adapter for video display, which is a bit tangled up. Fortunately, the last lightning talk wasn't that long. So this will be a talk about pythonlinks.info, if I can read correctly. If you know Chris, you probably know about pythonlinks.info. I think he has some amazing information to share with us, right? He's not paying attention. But you're all paying attention on me. All right, so we have Chris, then we'll have Igor, then we'll have Krzysztof. Is there Krzysztof in the audience? All right, he's already getting in line. It's getting pretty crowded in there. And there we go. All right, all yours.
So here we have the best videos of PyCon US organized by category. It's a tree of categories containing high-quality videos so that all the related videos are in the same category. So let's just jump right into this tree. Here we have the Taking Django async talk, and in the upper left-hand corner, you can see where we are in the tree. So we can swipe left and see all the Django talks, or we can go up, and we can see the Django category. You can see the best Django talks. You can go up a level. You can see the best talks about Python web development. You can go up a level. You can see the best talks about Python software, or you can go up a level. You can see the best overall talks. So on the left-hand side, you can see you've got the upvotes and the downvotes. And so this is based sort of on the total upvotes divided by the total votes. So upvotes divided by total votes. If you compare that to the YouTube channel, I'm sure they have a lot of talks, 148, but it's just this really long list. It's hard to find what you want, and you can sort it, but then let's go back up to the top. You can sort it either by when it was posted, they're all basically posted within a day or two, or by most popular, which means that the talks that are most popular continue to be most popular, and maybe it's not that fair. You can go to pyvideo.org, And here you can see 184 Python conferences in the last year. But again, they're all long lists of talks. And if you go to, you can go to their tags, and we can zoom in on, let's see, their analytics tag. Again, it's way more than 7 items in that category. And there are the different talks, but again, you don't know what the best is. What are you going to do, watch them all? Whereas if you go to pythonlinks.info, you can actually see the best in the category that's most of interest to you. You can also search. So say you're interested in DevOps. You can see the best DevOps talks. I didn't type that in correctly. Let's do that again. I'm nervous. I'm sorry. There we have. None of the talks had the word DevOps in them, but there's a whole category for DevOps. So you can go see the DevOps category, and you can see the best talks. But that's all PyCon US. We don't care about PyCon US. We care about PyCon Czech. So here are the talks for PyCon Czech, organized by category. The videos aren't up yet. The votes aren't up. But actually, there are more talks about security at PyCon Czech than at PyCon US. So I want to merge the two sets, the true trees. And the problem is that nobody votes for PyCon Czech. They all vote for they all go watch the PyCon US. So I need everybody to vote. And if you all vote for the best talks, then we will know who the best presentation was and have a certificate of appreciation for the best speaker. So that would be really good. There are no names on this website because that's a violation of GDPR. So if you'd like your name up on next to your videos, I have a release form for people to sign. It's all done in Python on the ZODB. It's an object graph database, wonderful software. I use Cromlech and Dolman, brilliant guy. For the chat servers, I have a tree of chat servers. I use emitter.io, which is an MQTT server. And unfortunately, I had to use JavaScript on the client. I invite you to follow pythonlinks.info, follow at pythonlinks on Twitter, do a search and contact me or talk to me. And if anybody's looking for a good Python developer, please talk to me. Thank you.
Or is this on? Oh, okay, this is on. Please come up, Igor. So here comes a lightning talk about how to control a robot hand from Jupyter Notebook. I don't know if this has a live demo, if it'll actually needs preparation. Okay, it'll be just plugging in. But maybe there'll be some video. We'll see. So does anybody have a robot hand at home? There's like one person. I wonder if this will be practical for anybody. All right, is it up?
Yes, I actually...
There you go.
Hello. My name is Igor. I'm from Poland. I'm finishing my PhD in robotics. And I'm also doing a consulting work with robotics, machine learning, and artificial intelligence. So I had to change the topic of my talk because there was a talk about robots at the first one, and I was so super enthusiastic that there is another guy doing something with robotics, but like these are real robots, so they like move and stuff. Okay, so you have this fancy robot, and what do you do with this? You can have the one that we actually brought here. It is called Ono. It has multiple servos. It can move. It can talk. But how do you program this kind of thing? How do you connect it to the world? And here is the actual robotic hand. So the thing at the end of this is called robot gripper or robot hand. And you can do a lot of stuff with this, but you have to have a way, possibly a friendly way, possibly a way that doesn't make it more difficult than it should. These hands can have sensors. So this hand has a tactile sensors in a way that you can actually, the robot feels what it touches. But the biggest question is how you actually access this kind of information. So you can access it from Jupyter Notebook. There is something called ROS, which is a robot operating system. This is a bunch of tools and methods to connect different robot-connected programs. So after you have done all of this work, you will have something like a computation node or like a bunch of programs. This program is for a robot that can move. So for example, you have a joy node, but the joy is not happiness, but joystick, actually. But after a bunch of these programs, you can move this. From our perspective, so as a Python programmers, we can use Jupyter to do this. We can, for example, make sliders directly into the Jupyter to control a robot. In this slide, you can see how you can control like a small turtle on a screen. But the same program can be used to control like a real robot directly from Python without any other coding needed from you. So by using ROS and by like connecting it with Jupyter, you will have access to all of the fancy libraries that you like. As roboticist, I do a lot of computation, so there is a lot of NumPy, SciPy involved. But you can make your robots intelligent. So for this, you can use some general libraries like scikit-learn, of course, pandas for data processing, but also Keras, PyTorch. These are nice libraries for machine learning using neural networks. And these are all accessible while using ROS. And what is important for us roboticists is that they can actually be run real time. So you can have your robot recognize stuff through your Python, interactive Python program in real time. And what is nice is that while you are doing a normal programming, you are interested in debugging by meaning finding bugs. But in the case of a real robot, you have stuff going on in real time. And the interactivity of IPython is very nice to actually see what is going on in the robot's brain. You can use, and we successfully used like Flask and Django to connect robots to internet. And there is Google of robotic libraries inside of ROS for visualization, drivers, data logging. So to show you some nice pictures, this is me teleoperating a hand with a lip motion and a robotic glove. This is done through Python. And there is me with the robot at the beginning. There is a robot glove. You have 5 fingers, the robot has 3 fingers. So we actually have a machine learning algorithm that translates this to some meaningful actions. So it recognizes, we call it intentions, but it recognizes in what way you want to use your hand. So join us at the Sunday workshop. We will be doing this for you, so you can learn. You will be able to program the Honor robot I showed you at the beginning. So thank you.
Thank you, Krzysztof. And we have the last lightning talk signed up is by Alex Todorov. Can you please come up? Can you please come up? Oh, sorry, I misread. Okay, Krzysztof, please come up. How fast can you sit up? It's a ThinkPad.
30 seconds, I hope.
All right, let's count. 30 seconds. That's the half minute. Whoa, there's a lot of people here. All right. Is anybody keeping time? Yeah, this is the part of lightning talks that takes the most time. Setting up.
Time for the chicken.
Time for the chicken. Who said that? That is mean. All right, there we go.
Hello everyone, my name is Krzysztof, this is Michal. We are from a company called Redmark. It's Czech cybersecurity startup. We are focusing on bank security. We have about 30 people. We are on the market for 3 years and we are venture capital funded. Today, for these few minutes, we are going to talk about banking security from the perspective of user device, and we will just scratch the surface because we don't have much time.
Okay. So first of all, let's just talk about some standard banking application attacks. So the most common, obviously, malware. Somebody installs a keylogger on your box, you got your password stolen. Quite simple to detect, quite obvious. Next one, web injection. something, virus or a malicious plugin or some random mobile application from the internet injects some JavaScript or whatever code to the website, it looks completely like your usual internet banking, but you've got a piece of malicious code that steals your credentials. Next one, phishing. Somebody completely copies the design of your bank's internet banking site or their mobile applications. You run the attacker's application, it looks just your internet banking, you put your credentials in, boom. Session hijacking, yeah. More complex one. After you authenticate, you use some secret, typically cookie or something else, that you use to persist your session with the bank. So after you log in, the password becomes irrelevant, and the attacker can just hijack this cookie. And the last one, and probably the most complex, social engineering. The attacker just tricks you into telling him your password. Yeah, by law, in most cases, this is actually a bank's problem. So the banks still care about this one, even though it's probably the most complicated to detect. Solution, machine learning. Python's really good for machine learning, especially for the biometry. As soon as you run the bank application, you can start learning about the user's action, like what time does he usually log in to your bank account? What country does he live in? Does he use it? What browser or operating system phone does he use? How does he type on the keyboard? How does he use the mouse? Does he use tabs or enter or clicks the web forms? Then you can compare each new session with the existing data and detect some anomalies, like why is the mobile app suddenly running in an emulator? Why the user traveled 7,000 kilometers in half an hour? Or why did the user log in when he didn't type anything on the keyboard? Yeah, and you still need to whitelist some small anomalies, like people go on vacation, people update their systems, etc. Okay, that's a quick summary of the theory. Demo time. Live demos never work. Let's hope this won't be the case.
Okay, so we've prepared a small demo. This demo is hosting our piece of JavaScript, which monitors everything the user or the attacker is doing inside the application. And it's learned on my profile. It knows how do I behave. And Michael will post as an attacker. So first I will log in. It should allow me to log in and should show me some low score. But for Michael, he should be marked as an attacker because he behaves differently. And by behaving, I mean that I type in a certain way when I am switching between two fields. I use tabulator or don't use tabulator. I either scroll by mouse or I use keystrokes. You see the point. So let's try it. I just logged in. I might click here a few times. I might create a new payment or don't create. And after I log out, it will show me some score. The score tells that my profile is 65% consistent with what I have been doing before. Now let's hack me.
Okay, as you can see, that's it.
So, just
Thank you, that's
one
it.
sentence.
Thank you.
This was fake, you got it here, and you can write yourself.
Yeah, all right. Let's get Alex up. Sorry for that. Rules are strict. And this will be a talk about Kiva TCMS. Oh, fellow bird, a Kiwi. A legacy project that needs your help. How fast can you set up? It is there. Right. Is it the right screen, or do you need an extra time? All right. There you go.
Hello. I have a lot of time and I don't have a lot more to talk. My name is Alex and I am the project lead for Kiva TCMS, which is a test case management system. This is a very, very old software, almost to the point where it's completely legacy. The first version was released in 2009, and after that, it has been developed and was not made public. In 2014, it was pushed to GitHub as a single commit with just as initial commit, and that was about it. Then development continued for a while on GitHub, and it stopped. When I got to the project and started contributing, that project, the original project, was already dead. So I decided to fork the project to myself, continue development, and then after a while, I was advised by a friend of mine to create a separate organization on GitHub to change the name to avoid copyright issues or maybe trademarks and stuff like that. And this is how Kiva TCMS was born. So we forked the project a second time. I continued development. I was able to upgrade from Django 1.6 to 1.7, 1.8, 1.9, 1.10, 1.11, 2.0. Then upgrade from Python 2 to Python 3, and now to Python 3.6 in particular. So yeah, that's cool. There are around 20,000 lines of Python code in this project and around 10,000 lines of JavaScript code. A lot of them need refactoring. So I started looking for other people to engage in this project. Right now, we are a team of 4 developers, and we work together. Just last month, we started receiving external contributions from people who are not on the team, and that's a good thing. And we still have a lot of work to do. What we've been able to do so far is completely change the API that the system provides. So that's cool, that's stable, and it actually works. We managed to get all the test suite running, so we now have testing in the project. We had 4,000 pilot errors. We are down to about 1,000 right now. We managed to kill a lot of code smells, a lot of code duplication, and there's still about 500 of these yet that need to be done. So there is still a lot of work to be done on this project. The good thing is that there are new users coming in, the community is starting to revive, and we need your help. We need developers who are willing to work on some of the Python code or maybe on some of the JavaScript code on the front end. It's perfect for if you're a student or if you're a beginner. We are welcoming for everybody. There are some very hard tasks that can be done in the project, but there are also a lot of easier things that need to be done, and that's perfect for you to try your hands out, get some experience with real-world software that's being used by more and more people every day, and contribute something to the open source community. Thank you.
Thank you.